Hello guys, welcome back. More Project Cars career mode coming right up as we are at Silverstone here for the 8th race of the season here. I don't quite recall how many races we actually have in these Formula E seasons. I think it's 18 or 19. So we're just about halfway here basically. We're starting to hit the midpoint of the season anyway. Building a quite comfortable gap here so far, but it's going to be interesting to see how we're going to be handling Silverstone here today. Haven't had much luck here, and just skipping ahead to the outlap here. Didn't want to bore you with all the setup stuff there. We're expecting, or not expecting, but we're fearing there might be a rain shower or two coming during the race here. That happened to us last season, and our tires were completely chewed up by the track there in the rain. We had to make an additional stop and just easing off on the suspension here for the setup, just in case we see a shower here. Anyway, to the business at hand, this is going to be our one and only qualifying lap, running very wide here coming out of Abbey and right up on the gearbox of somebody here heading into Village, and hopefully he's going to be a little bit faster on the rest of the track there. We're right on his exhaust there, as a matter of fact. He's running a little bit wide as we come out on the Wellington Straight here. Seems to be pulling away from us slightly here, so at least that's a good sign. Heading into Brooklands here, down into 4th, down into 3rd. Just missing the apex there as we head into Luffield. And this is a corner that's always given me fits in Project Cars here, because if you take the correct line there, you're going to have guys trying to dive bomb you all freaking day. And not only are they going to dive bomb you in true Project Cars style, they'll happily run you off the track in doing so. So usually the line that we take during qualifying is going to be a very, very different line than what you might see in the race here. And coming through this section of turn here, Mackett's, Beckett's, and Chapel making up a lot of time on this guy right ahead of us here. I'm not really sure who that is, to be perfectly honest. It's not Daniel Walsh, that's for sure, because that's our teammate, and that is not an Auto Rebel car we have in front of us here. Top speed, 313 here. Might need to adjust the 7th gear there. Heading into Stowe. Again, making up ground on the guy right ahead of us here. This short straight here, heading into the chicane, down into 2nd. Just clipping the apex there. Perfect exit, pretty much. Running a little wide on the exit here. Into Club, out on the main straight here. And it's going to be interesting to see how this time is going to be holding up. Provisional P2, P3, Heinz, Dieter, Kramer. Oh, forgot to close the DRS there. All right, doesn't much matter there, as this was our only lap, so just as long as we don't put it into the wall. Anyway, down into P5, Pedro Ferrer just passing us there, and somebody passing him as well, as we're into P6 now. So, and Tobias Coltau besting us too. So, not the best qualifying session we could have hoped for here. This is going to be another middle of the pack start, and middle of the pack start is always very, very difficult to predict what might happen. Usually, what I try to do is just take it easy heading into the first turn, but usually you have guys behind you who might not be so interested in taking it easy. So it's going to be interesting to see how we are going to be doing here. Anyway, getting ready to get off the grid here. As you can see, we have Tobias Coltau on our left shoulder there, and Pedro Ferreira, I believe it is, in P6 right ahead of us, and Tobias making an absolutely great start there. We have a crappy start, to say the least, and we're way down into P10 already. Kirill Baranikov there trying to go down the outside of us. We actually touch wheels, and having to dive down the inside of somebody here, trying to do the same thing going into Village, and running very wide indeed. And guys are going to be passing us left and right there, hugging the curb, coming through the loop, and some guys running wide right ahead of us here. Let's have a look at the start one more time there. Looking at the start again there, Pedro Ferreira right ahead of us, not having a good start. Neither are we. Kirill Baranikov there right on the outside, trying to cut us off there, but needs to think the better of it as we touch wheels, and he runs very wide indeed, losing all kinds of positions here. And we do the exact same thing here, heading into Village, way off into the grass there, but it gives us the opportunity coming through the loop to hug the inside and basically take advantage of all these cars running wide on the exit of the turn. So coming down Wellington Straight, we have our teammate Daniel Waltz right ahead of us. Greg Barbier in P7 chasing us from behind here, running a little wide in Brooklands here, coming into Luffield. And this is the inside line that I was talking about during qualifying here, hawking the curb the entire way around, because even though there might not be any space seemingly there, these guys are happily going to take the grass and just knock you off track from the inside anyway. Coming through Cops here, down into 5th momentarily, full on the throttle again here on the exit. DRS open to see if we can't gain some speed here as we head into Beckett's and Chapel here. This is a section of the track where we're usually very fast, and as you can see, we're catching up on the guys ahead of us there, getting a nice exit out on Hangar Straight here, opening up the DRS. We don't have any curves left, unfortunately, here, so we can't take advantage of that. We did adjust our 7th gear just a little bit, just to be able to take advantage of Hangar Straight just a little bit better than what we saw during qualifying. Heading into the chicane here, just clipping the apex. Nice entry, but routinely this is a section of the track where the AI has the upper hand, and as you can see, the guys ahead of us there pulling away nicely as we come out on the main straight. Lap 1 status, we are into P6. Nice one. Coming out of Cops, as you can see here, Greg Barbier right behind us, and he has definitely gotten the car going. We are under quite a bit of pressure from behind right now here, not getting the best line here. Coming out of the right-hander, right into Chapel there, on the throttle as early as we possibly can, opening the DRS, using whatever curves we have left in the car there, and Greg Barbier seemingly does not have the top speed to put us under pressure here. Taking away the inside line, heading into Stove, don't want to give him any ideas, and momentarily at least, we are holding on to P6. Heading into the chicane here again, Greg Barbier all over us from behind. Somebody's putting him under pressure as well. Heading into Club and running a little wide here, having to give Greg Barbier the space as we come back on track here, opening up the DRS, using the curves, coming through Abbey, and just managing to shut the door there as we head into Village. He has another look down the inside. He needs to think the better of that, and heading into the loop here, taking away the inside line, almost touching wheels. As a matter of fact, he runs very wide indeed. Somebody's running off track behind him, and that is going to cost somebody some positions there, but we are still in P6 with a whole lot of racing going on. Jumping ahead to lap 6, as you can see, Daniel Wall's about 3.5 seconds up the road from us right now, but more importantly, Greg Barbier, we've built a nice gap to him, about 1.5 seconds here, meaning we're not under any immediate pressure here. But if you look at the visor there of the helmet, more importantly, as you can see, we now have some rain coming. Jumping to lap 6, as you can see, the rain is now intensifying a little bit, and also quite a lot of the AI cars are currently heading into the pits, presumably to make the switch to some sort of wet compound. They're not sure which one they're going to be choosing, and as that seems to be as good an indication as any, I guess that means we're going to be heading in on the very next lap as well. And just as we were talking about here, heading into the pits, we're going to be making the switch to the full wet compound. It's always very difficult, I think, here in Project Cars to pretty much make out the track conditions, because obviously if you look at the sky the way it is right now, it's still only a partial cloud cover, but the rain seems to be intensifying here, so full wets is what we're opting for, and hopefully that is going to prove to be the right choice here as we manage to rejoin the track here, still in, well, as a matter of fact, we're in P1. And Paul Chapman currently in P... No, that one changes right there. Taro Newtonen in P2, 5 seconds down the road. Skipping ahead to lap 12, as you can see, the weather conditions have not improved for the better, and also our tire wear is absolutely horrendous here, just like we saw last season. So I guess it's pretty much anyone's guess as to how long we can stay out on this particular set of tires. Also, Taro Newtonen currently only about 1.5 seconds behind us here, so he is definitely closing the gap, and right now he's going faster than we are. The only question remains, are we going to be able to keep him behind us, or do we have to go in and make an extra pit stop here as we come through Abbey, running very wide indeed here. Not the best conditions. Look at that left front tire there. That is completely beat already. Lap 15 heading into Brooklands here. Taro Newtonen about 1.5 seconds down on us right now. So at the very least, at this point of the race here, we're matching speeds with him, losing the back end here, coming out of Lovefield as our tires have just gone from bad to worse and the track conditions the same. And as you can see, there's still Taro Newtonen now closing the gap on us. He's only about 1 second down. This is the section of the track where we are not going very fast at the moment here. And the question is, how long are we going to be able to keep this up? Look at our tires. They are completely gone, at least the front tires. Skipping ahead to lap 7 here, as you can see, our front tires now completely gone. Even our engineer starting to grow a little concerned, calling us into the pits for a change of tires. But thankfully, as you can see there, Tero Newtonen and a school of other cars right behind him now going into the pits to make a change as well. And coming out of the pits here, it does appear as though Paul Chapman has not been into, all right, Paul Chapman right behind us. He's going in to make his second pit stop here as we are rejoining the track, currently in P1. It's going to be interesting to see when somebody passes Paul Chapman on the main straight there. That is going to be Tero Newtonen still. He's about 7 seconds down on us right now, so looking good so far. Jumping right ahead to lap 20 here, as you can see, several AI cars have already been in to make the switch to the dry compound as the rain seems to be easing off. Robert Schmidt in P2 currently, as we are heading into the pits to make the switch as well. And as we are rejoining the track, we have Robert Schmidt in... yeah, it's always a little bit confusing here what happens in the pit lane. Torben Simon right ahead of us there, just making his second or third pit stop, that would be. As we are rejoining the track here, we are currently in P2. We have Tero Newtonen right behind us there. We're in P3 right now. Daniel Hooper. I'm not sure what's going on here. All kinds of confusion. All right, back into P1. Tero Newtonen right behind us there, about half a second down on us. This could get hairy in the final 5 laps of the race. Lap 22, Tero Newtonen right behind us here as we head into Appy, just getting a little bit too much of the curb here, but taking away the inside line here, heading into Village, or at least that's what we're trying to do. Tero Newtonen not in a position to put us under pressure, taking away the inside line, coming through the loop. Very nice exit indeed, and somebody running off track right behind us there. I believe that was Daniel Hooper, giving what appeared to be a shove to Tero Newtonen there, and currently we have Daniel Hooper in P2. Coming out on the main straight, if you look at the mini-map there, we have all kinds of cars right behind us. One spin right now could prove to be the difference between P1 and P10. And heading into Village here, lots of pressure coming from behind there. And once again, somebody getting a shove right behind us there. I'm not really sure what happened, but it appears that Tero Newtonen is back into P2. Daniel Hooper, not sure where he went, but he is certainly not in P2 anymore, as we had several cars running wide out of the loop as well.
Rain is expected in the next 30 minutes.
Final lap of the race, final corner coming out of Club, out on the main straight. We are going to be taking the win here at Silverstone today. Very happy with this one, as the last 5 laps turned out to be quite a fight for our lives here. And as you can see there, we take the win here today. Tero Newtonen taking second, and Daniel Waltz, our teammate there, quietly sneaking up from what appeared to be P6 or P7 at some point, and taking third here. So a double podium for the Auto Rebel team here today. Very nice indeed. And championship standings here, we are building our gap down to P2, Paul Chapman right now, 143 points for us, 57 points for Paul Chapman. Greg Barbier with 51 points currently in P3. So right now, things are looking very good for a repeat of the championship here in Formula A in this Season 3. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, be sure to leave a like or subscribe to this channel for more Project Cars action in the future. And I'll be back soon enough. Bye-bye.